another one in Mountain on Fire, and another one in New Abara. We are also putting 132 kV substation in Mountain in Redeem and at Badagry. So this is the way we are working. So we are working different from the way things are done before.
Mr. Mohammed, at this juncture, we're going to throw it over to our Lagos studio, where my colleague Neota is standing by with another guest to discuss the sector. Neota?
Ajiri, we have here in our studio Dr. Yemioke, Associate Professor of Energy, University of Lagos. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Now, in the heat of the election campaigns in 2014, 2015, thereabout, it was alleged that the current Minister of Power, Works and Housing said that any right-thinking government will solve the power issue in the country in 6 months. Did you hear that?
I did.
You heard something like that? Okay, so, but now we hear him. This one is authentic. We heard this one, that we have done, him saying that we have done better in the power sector in 3 years than the PDP in 16 years. Is that true?
Definitely not true. Let me again thank you for bringing me here. One thing we should avoid doing, if you must be honest with ourselves, as Nigerians, irrespective of political offices or our position, which is temporary, is to play politics with a sector as sensitive as the power sector. That will be a huge disservice to the nation. Even if the minister will go the way of politics, his statement before the current government got to power, which you just mentioned, is there. Nigerians are now playing back to him. You said this. So that means if you've not been able to solve the problem of the power sector in 6 months as a government, the current government, then that means the government is not serious. Let's split it back. It is definitely not acceptable to me why I'm not even going to be the mouthpiece for the other party, the PDP. It's not completely true. And it's not even true that the current administration has done more in the power sector than the PDP. And I'll give you facts and figures.
Okay.
One, the MD of TCN, Mohammed, mentioned the Azura project. And my friend, Chedugbo, who is the MD of Niger Delta Power Holding Company, is the brain box of that Azura project. Azura project was something that started in the last administration. It ought even to have been completed before now. And they are celebrating it. That's not their success story. Two, the MD is happy to announce to the whole world that the government is spending so much in the power sector. But which aspect of the power sector? One, it calls to question the reality of a sector that is supposedly privatized, and now we're spending so much money in this sector. I admit that government in the last few years, perhaps 2 to be precise, has been doing something I call strategic spending in grid expansion. That is extending to transmission lines and the rest. That's what you said. Government has been doing what is called strategic spending for grid extension.
Which is good. Is it not? Is that
it's
not good?
wrong.
Really?
The world is going off grid.
Hold on.
I'm coming there.
Okay.
The world is going forward. We're going backward. The trend is such that countries are backing off from centralized grid. Anything could happen. Just as even in the petroleum sector where we have refineries, the world is backing off from mega refineries that are going to modular refineries. We're doing mini transmission lines, off-grid power generation and transmission. That is the one. The monies spent have been spent in one segment of the sector, which is the transmission. Transmission is the one that the government is holding on to, which is not privatized. What is happening in the generation? What is happening in the distribution? And I would say, quite frankly, that the current regime, particularly, I have a lot of respect for, I call him Governor Fashola. a well-respected colleague of ours, a senior advocate of Nigeria. I did well in Lagos. He did fantastically well in Lagos, but he's been incapacitated. I can give that to him. I will say this. He's done a lot of the service in the sector. He's created acrimonious business trend or atmosphere in the sector, not only in the transmission. Of course, transmission segment of the power sector is in the hands of government, and any budgetary allocation for government will only go to that sector. So that makes sense. But the minister of late has been in the news to have been engaged in constant kind of warfare with the ANED, Association of Electricity Distribution Companies, which is strong. The generating companies are quite being diplomatic. They've not want to be that frontally disagree with the minister. The NERC, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, has never been this subjective, has never been this tight in control, almost direct control of a minister. A sector as crucial as the power sector cannot thrive unless and until you have a regulator that is independent